A very good morning to all the students of class 11 political science. So students, we were doing the chapter number 3, that is executive, from your new device syllabus, and this is part number 2. So in the last lecture we had taken the introduction part of the executive, where I told you if we talk about the government, we have 3 organs of the government: executive, judiciary and legislature. So one by one there are 3 separate chapters in your book. That is, today we are taking this chapter executive, then we will be talking about legislature, and then we will talk about judiciary. So these are the 3 different chapters which we will understand. But it is important when we talk of the government, because when you think of the government, you think of just of the prime ministers or the council of ministers. At the state level, you just think of the chief minister. Okay, but this is not so. Or we just think of a particular political party. But if there has to be a proper governance in a particular country, that is why the name is government. Okay, government means how we are going to govern a particular country. For governing a country, we require these 3 organs particularly, and with the coordination and combination of these 3 organs, there is a proper functioning of the government. So there are various functions of the government which are performed by the different organs. Like if we talk about making of the laws, different laws and policies have been drawn out by the legislature. If we talk whose responsibility is to make laws and various plans and policies for the growth and development of our society, economic, political or social growth, it is legislature. But it is the responsibility of executive branch to execute those plans, laws into practice. That is, implementation is the responsibility of executive. Finally, judiciary's duty is to check those laws which are being implemented. Are they according to the norms of the constitution, or are they going against any particular provision within the constitution? Are they justified for each and every person of the society or not? So this is the purpose of the judiciary. But leave these 2, we are going to discuss them in the other chapter. But you should know, this is the structure of the government, where there are 3 organs, and with coordination and cooperation they work together. They keep check and balance of each other. This is important. Otherwise, executive can misuse its power. It is so powerful. Legislature can misuse its power. But these organs, especially executive and legislature, they are interdependent because they keep a check and balance on each other. If legislature will not work according to the provision of the constitution or will misuse its power, executive is there to check legislature. Same vice versa. Okay. So apart let's talk about the executive. The definition which I have told you, although I have explained. Executive is that organ of the government that primarily looks after the implementations of rules, regulations in actual practice. Whatever the rules, regulations, laws, policies are being framed by the legislature, those are brought into implementation by the executive. It is the responsibility of executive to bring these laws, regulations into actual practice or implementation. So then this was the introduction part. We are taking in detail and discuss what do we understand by executive. But this structure you must know. Okay, when we talk of the government, it means there are 3 important organs. Then at the end of the first lecture, I told you that if we talk about the structure, what is the structure of executive? How it is formed? So executive, if we talk about executive, it has 2 parts. Suppose this is one part, other part is this part. So the upper part would be called political executive and the permanent. One is this political and second is permanent. The difference I told you, political executives are the people who are being elected for the fixed tenure of 5 years. Prime Minister, President, Council of Ministers, these are the people who are being elected for the tenure of 5 years. And after that they will be changed or they will contest election again. So they are called political executives. Also they are called temporary executives. But there are some permanent executives, I told you, as they are appointed by the government, as they are the civil servants, okay, and they are very skilled and professionalized into particular fields. So they are the permanent executives who help political executives to implement various laws and regulations which are framed by the legislature. Whatever laws are being framed by the legislature, these permanent executives help political executives that how they should execute those laws into practice. Okay. Then after that, today the topic is, we have understood what do we understand by executive, the structure of executive, that is who are the people who are executive. तो उसके अंदर 2 parts we have studied, political and permanent executive. तो बन गया एक, ठीक है, एक executive बन गया. ओके, इसके अंदर अभी सेट परमानेंट एंड पॉलिटिकल, परमानेंट एंड पॉलिटिकल एग्जीक्यूटिव्स होते हैं. दे आर कंप्लीटली बोथ कंबाइंड टुगेदर, दे मेक द executive. Now this is common for everyone around the world. Now we will be talking generally types of executive, because in different countries you will find different type of executives. In India, if we are following a parliamentary system, okay, parliamentary democracy, it does not mean every country around the world is following the same system of executive. In different countries, some countries have president as the head of the state, some countries have monarch, some countries have vice president, some countries have president. We have prime minister as the head of the government and president as the head of the state. So you have to understand here two things. There are two persons. One is head of the state. State here means in political science country. So head of the state means the head of our country, and head of the government means the head as prime minister is the head of the country for India. So when we talk about types of executive, so we will be studying three types of executives in our syllabus. That is system based on the principles of collective leadership. Whenever we talk about the collective leadership, where powers are shared somewhat. Okay, so we will be studying two types: parliamentary and semi-presidential. So under this, where there is a collective leadership, we are talking about the various different executives. You will study from your NCERT book also, then you will be able to understand. Till now you have to remember that there are various types of executives, different in the different countries. They are following the different pattern. So, but overall generalized concept, we have to study them into three categories. First is on the basis of collective leadership. We have parliamentary system or a parliamentary executive, and we have a semi-presidential executive. But on the other hand, right side you can see system based on individual leadership. But if we talk about the individual leadership, we have presidential executive or presidential system. Okay, so in this you can see parliamentary, India is the example here. Okay, in this presidential is very popular for US. You know, there all the powers are centralized in the hands of president. So we'll understand in this lecture we'll understand parliamentary, semi-presidential and presidential system. We'll differentiate them and then you will be able to understand. This is going to be the content of our this video. Okay, type of executives. So now let's take it from your NCERT book. So the topic from my NCERT book, what are the different type of executive? Because we have understood the meaning of executive, because here we are not only talking about India, we are generally talking about executives, particularly also we will be talking about India, but right now we are talking about the executives around the world. So there are different type of executives, and you know the meaning of executive, the government body which execute the laws into practice. So the countries may not have the same type of executive. You may have heard of the President of the US and the Queen of England. You must have heard of President of US and Queen of England, but the powers and functions of the President of the US are very different from the powers of President of India. So if we talk about the powers and functions of President of US, those are totally different of the powers and functions of the President of India, because the House of President in US is very powerful, because all the powers are centralized with the President of US. But in India, President is the most important person, as he is the head of the state, but he is just a nominal head. Okay, he is a signing authority, because all the real powers are exercised by the Prime Ministers and the Council of Ministers. So this difference you can see how executives have different functions in different countries. Similarly, powers of Queen of England, if you see the powers of the Queen of England are different from the powers of the King of Nepal. If you compare the King of Nepal with Queen of England, the powers and functions are different. Both India and France have Prime Ministers. If we talk, we follow the parliamentary system in India also, in France also. But if we talk about the functions and powers of prime ministers of these two countries, but their roles are different from each other. Why this so? So why is it so? To answer this question, we will briefly outline the nature of executive existing in some of these countries. So if you have to understand why there is so much of differences, although their portfolios are same, but different powers, different functions, different type of executive we are seeing around the world. So to answer this question briefly, outline the nature of executives. So we will see different type of executives who are existing in some of the countries. Like USA has a presidential system, and executive powers are in the hands of the president. Presidential system means all the powers are centralized with the president. He is the real powerful person, that is president. All the powers are in the hands of president. But if we talk about Canada, has the parliamentary democracy, same like India also have a parliamentary democracy, but there is a difference. Here they have a constitutional monarchy with Queen Elizabeth II. They have a parliamentary where they have the prime minister also, but they have the Queen Elizabeth also as a monarch. In the formal chief of the state and the prime minister. Like in India, we have the head of the government is prime minister and head of the state is president. Same in Canada, the head of the government is prime minister, but the head of the state is Queen Elizabeth II. In France, if we talk about France, here the system is both the president and prime minister are a part of the semi-presidential system. It means here both are important, both exercise some or the other power in the day-to-day administration. The president appoints the prime minister. The president appoints the prime minister as well as minister, but cannot dismiss them as they are responsible to the parliament. In the case of France, Japan has a parliamentary. If we talk about Japan, it has a parliamentary system with the emperor. As there is head of the state is emperor. Like in India, we have the head of the state is president, but in Japan, the head of the state is emperor and the prime minister as the head of the government. So you can see there are variations with the different countries. So there will be different type of executives. We will try to understand. इटली की अगर बात करें हम तो इटली हैज़ द पार्लियामेंट्री सिस्टम विद द प्रेसिडेंट एज द फॉर्मल हेड. सेम लाइक इंडिया, वी हैव अ फॉर्मल हेड एज प्रेसिडेंट of the state and the prime minister as the head of the government, but still you will find differences in the functioning. Russia has a semi-presidential system where president is the head of the state, prime minister who is appointed by the president is the head of the government. So you have to remember in this also, Russia also prime minister is appointed by the president. Germany has a parliamentary system in which president is the ceremonial head. In Germany, the parliamentary system is followed, but in this president is the ceremonial head as the signing authority, because the real powers are exercised by the chancellor is the head of the government, because their chancellor is the head of the government. So you can see at some places prime minister is the head of the government, at some places chancellor is the head, in some places president is the head of the government. So we can see 3 or 4 type of different executives by going through these different countries. They are following different systems leading to various type of executives. So broadly we will be distributing or categorizing these into 3 parts, and we will study about types of executive, where we will understand parliamentary system, we will understand semi-presidential system and presidential system. So you can see the topic type of executive. When we are talking about the different type of executive, we have to remember we have divided them first of all into 2 categories. One is system based on the principle of collective leadership, where there is a collective leadership. There is not a monopoly or dominance of only one body or only one person. So if we talk about the collective leadership, that we are trying to understand who are the executive who are working on the system of collective leadership. We have a parliamentary system and we have a semi-presidential system. Okay, but if we talk about the other system, that is individual leadership, here the complete leadership is with the individual, and that is a presidential system. So I hope you have understood the categories, the classification we have made, that we are trying to understand executive into we will be studying 3 type of executive, but we have divided them into 2 broad categories, that is collective leadership and individual leadership. So let's talk about this. First of all, parliamentary, which is a part of collective leadership. So if we talk about parliamentary, so let's see what are the characteristics of this parliamentary system. We are not talking only about India, various countries around the world with various executives. So parliamentary, in this system where parliament is very important, head of the government is usually known as the PM. Like in India also, head of the government is prime minister. Here is the leader of majority party, and this prime minister is the leader of the majority party in legislature. Okay, legislature, we have the majority of the MPs, and out of them the majority party's leader is called the prime minister. He is accountable to the legislature. Although he is a part of executive, but he is accountable to the legislature, because if legislature is not supporting prime minister, he will not be able to maintain the majority in the Lok Sabha. So that is why this prime minister is always accountable to the legislature. The head of the state may be, but if we talk about the head of the state, first we have seen the first is the head of the government is prime minister, but head of the state in this parliamentary system maybe there are 2 variations in this. If that country is a monarch country, it will be called a constitutional monarchy, If it is suppose in our country India we have a head of our state is president, it means we are a parliamentary republic. But in some country if there is a monarch, like we talked about England also, that is Britain. Okay, we talked about Canada. In that, queen and king are also the head of the state, so they will be called constitutional monarchy. But in case of India, we have the head of the state as president. We will be called parliamentary republic. So under the same system of parliamentary, these two are the variations, and they are the ceremonial executive. Ceremonial executive, we can say they are just the nominal head. They are not the real executives, because all the real powers are exercised by the prime ministers and the council of ministers. They are just the real signing authorities, or the rubber stamp, who have to sign the bills, whatever suggestions have, or the bills are being passed by the council of ministers. Examples: India and Canada for this parliamentary system. Now next is semi-presidential system. Under the same collective leadership, has the president on the head of the, because here it's written semi-presidential. It is not exactly like the presidential system, which is based on the individual leadership, but some powers are still there with the president. In India, our president is just a nominal head. He is the signing authority. But in semi-presidential system, day-to-day administration powers are exercised by the president of this system. That is why it is called semi-presidential system. Here the president is the head of the state, and he is the elected one. He has the prime minister as the head of the government. Here also the prime minister will be head of the government. PM and his council are responsible to the legislature. But the difference is here only that president here in this system will have the powers to exercise various functions in the day-to-day administration. Okay, but if we talk about parliamentary system, in that president is just the signing authority, although he is the head of the state. The example of this is France, Russia, Sri Lanka. This semi-presidential system executive is followed in France, Russia and Sri Lanka. This is going to be easy for you. That is, the third one is presidential. From the very word you can understand the title, where there is the powers are centralized with the president. There is no prime minister to share the powers. Here president is the head of the state as well as the head of the government. Both, so he is exercising all the powers, because he is the head of the state also, head of the government also. President is usually directly elected by the people. He is directly elected through the election by the people. He is not accountable to legislature. He does not have to give explanation to legislature. He will take decisions on its own. That is why this category is under the individual leadership. Examples are United States. You know the president of US, how elections are held in US for the presidentialship. Brazil are the most nations of Latin America also. These are the examples of presidential form of these elections. Now, difference between parliamentary and semi-presidential form of government or executive. Let's see what is the difference between parliamentary and semi-presidential. When we talk of the executive, president may possess, if you talk about the presidential, president may possess significant day-to-day powers. France, Russia, Sri Lanka. This is an example of semi-presidential, where I told you president is not just the signing authority, just not nominal head. He exercises the significant day-to-day powers of administration. Countries like France, Russia, Sri Lanka exercise this system, semi-presidential. But if you talk about, but also elected head of a state is semi-presidential. He is an elected person, and he is the head of a state in semi-presidential. President appoints prime minister. Also, president is a person who appoints prime minister also. So this was the division and classification of the different type of executives in the world. After we have discussed that, I am reading it from your NCERT book also, so that you will be able to understand more better than that. In a presidential system, the president is the, if you are talking about the presidential system, that is individual leadership. President is the head of the state as well as head of the government. In this system, of the office of president is very powerful. If we talk about the presidential system, office of president is very powerful. It means the powers are centralized, both in theory and practice. Countries with such a system include United States, Brazil, and most nations of Latin America. This I have told you. Then on the next page, you have this chart. Please go through it. This is the same chart which I have explained to you. Okay, read this thoroughly. Now let's talk about parliamentary system that is followed in India also. In this parliamentary system, the prime minister is the head of the government. Most parliamentary systems have a president or the monarch on the nominal head, because in India, like, president is a nominal head, but in some countries there will be monarch. Like I told you about the Canada and the UK, there they have king and queens as the nominal head, but we have president. In such a system, the role of the president or the monarch, so in this system that is parliamentary, the function of the president or the monarch is primarily ceremonial. It means they are just the signing authority, that is, they are the nominal head. In through the constitution they will be called the head of the state, but the real powers are exercised by the prime ministers and the council of ministers. That is why it's written, these primarily ceremonial and prime minister along with the cabinet will effective powers. Countries with such system are Germany, Italy, Japan, United Kingdom. So this system, same like India, is also followed in Germany, Italy, Japan, United Kingdom. Still there will be differences when we talk about the executive powers. A semi-presidential system, last, has both the president and the prime minister. In this system we have prime minister also and president also. They are sharing the powers. Here president is playing an important role, where a significant role, where he is also performing day-to-day activities or powers, or exercising various powers in the day-to-day activities. In this system it may possess possible that sometimes the president and the prime minister may belong to the same party. In semi-presidential system, parliamentary system, semi-presidential system, it may be possible that both president and prime minister belong to the same party, and at times they also may belong to a different parties. If they belong to the same party, their functioning and decision making becomes very easy, but if they belong to a different party, then there are various conflicts and debates over various decision makings. Would you oppose to each other? Countries with such a system include France, Russia, Sri Lanka. These three are the examples of semi-presidential system. So with this we have come to the end of this topic. From the next lecture we will talk about particularly we will talk about India, that is parliamentary executive in India. Till then, thank you, take care.